So it's going to be the last class before Pesach, right? So next week, and I think the week after, we're not going to a class, and also the week after in Pesach itself. Even though we are starting here a new topic, the last story in Sefer Shmuel Aleph is the last war of Shaul against the Plishtim. So we started last time to see the David aspect of the war, even though there are going to be later more, but in the meantime, it just says that David is offered to join the camp of the Plishtim, and he's playing here the double game of saying, yeah, you know what I'm going to do, which is not clear what I'm going to do. So you don't know what I'm going to do. And in a very naive move, Achish, the king of the Plishtim, said, you're going to be my bodyguard. Now in Hebrew, bodyguard is head guard, shomer rosh, not shomer guf. This is the way, which is a very interesting way to put it, because David took away the head of Goliath. So you're going to keep my head the same way you kept the head of Goliath. It's maybe not a very good idea. Anyway, the symbolism here is noticeable. But we will leave David for now in this point. When he's speaking the double language, the king of the Plishtim believes he with him. It's quite clear for me that he's not with the Plishtim. He had planned to change sides in the middle of the battle, but we don't know that. So there are some that interpret it in other ways that says that David really wanted to change sides at least until Shaul is taken away, and then he can return to Israel. Anyway, I don't think so. We cannot know that for sure. The Bible doesn't say anything. Now we will continue the story and with the side of Shaul. What's going on in the side of Shaul? So he says, now Shmuel had died, and all Israel made lament for him. Now Shmuel has died already a few chapters ago. Why is it mentioned here again? And the Malbim says there are four reasons that actually all the things that we are going to see later is because Shmuel died. So because Shmuel died, I will just tell you the story that we're going to read. Shaul is trying to find some communication with Hashem, and he is blocked from all ways. So he's going to what we call Ba'alat Ha'or, which is some kind of way of speaking with the dead. That it's not allowed according to the Torah. So we can say the last sin of Shaul. So we are going to see this story anyway. But the Malbim says Shmuel met, so Shaul couldn't ask him, and then he had to go to her. And Shmuel met, and that's the reason the Plishtim had the courage to have a fight against Israel after they lost the last time. So this is the first big battle since the head of Goliath was cut away. So there were some small battles, but a big war wasn't from this time. So the Shmuel met, so they are not afraid anymore. And so there are several things he mentioned. We understand this is a trigger for what's going to happen next. Now Shmuel has died, and all Israel made lament for him, and he was buried in his own town and in Ramah. So here it's translated as his own town of Ramah. In Hebrew it doesn't say so. It says Barama uve'iro, in Ramah and in his city, which is a quite strange way to write, because how many places can you be buried? Right, only one place. What does it mean? Be'iro. We have similar question. I don't know if you remember when we learned Shoftim, that it says that Iftach was buried in the cities of the Gilad. How many cities can you be buried?
Maybe it was big city, inside it was small.
Yeah. So Chachamim said in this case that he had a tzarat, so he was buried by pieces. He lost one piece, it was buried, lost another piece, it was buried. Yeah, this is Midrash. Of course, we are not saying that about Shmuel. Chas v'shalom. So, this is also, some Mefarshim says, that it's not thinking about, when it says uv iro, it doesn't mean about the burial, but about the lament, about the eulogies. All Israel had made eulogies for Shmuel, berama uveiro. So it goes to the first part of the sentence. It makes more sense. As I said, meaning his influence was also disappeared. Ramah is a city. So we can say also, the simple understanding is like the translation here. He was buried in his own town, which is Ramah. So Ramah, which is his own town, even though it doesn't say which is, it says and. But you can understand this way. And some say that Ramah was not only the house of Shmuel, it was the center of his influence. Remember, we saw the schools of prophets. Yeah. People that came to Ramah, meaning he was buried. He's not longer there. His influence is not there, so there's no prophets anymore, and nobody's answering Shaul. That's a story that we're going to see. We talk about the silence of God also in the last chapter regarding David. When David decided to make his big move to change sides, he didn't ask Hashem, which is unusual for David. But here he did. I mean, so not only David, also Shaul had the same problem since Shmuel and all his influence has gone, at least for him. Now, it adds another details, and Shaul had forbidden recourse to ghosts and familiar spirits in the land. What does it mean? So, Ovot and Ideonim, these are two kinds of, some kind of magicians, of, how do you say, witches, people that, people that has ways, techniques to communicate with dead, or in some unnatural way to, they are the bad side of prophecy, let's say, they are the negative prophecy. There is a big discussions in Chacham. So the Torah says it's not allowed. Torah says very clearly it's not allowed. Someone that goes to Oven in Deoni should be stoned to death. So it's considered almost as idolatry. And it says that Shaul, in his good times, he fought against this phenomenon. Apparently, this phenomenon was one of the things that were the influence of the nations of the land. As we know that Torah says to Am Israel, you shouldn't leave people in the land because they're going to have bad influence on you. We learned that in Sefer Yoshua, in Sefer Shoftim, we saw this influence. Now, Shaul, when he was in the good side of God, he fought against that. Okay, he tried to eliminate everything, and he succeeded quite well. So it says that Shaul has removed. It translated as forbidden, but remove means not only that he forbidden, that he could remove them. You see them.
So now he's going to change completely.
Yes, yeah, we are going to see the deepest point of being desperate, right, of Shaul. Anyway, so this is a background. This has happened long before this moment of the story. Shaul died already a few chapters ago, and we saw that maybe this is a motivate David to go away from the land of Israel, to go to the Plishtim. And the second point is also many years ago, Shaul has removed all the Ovot and Yedonim from the land. And now we continue to the story of the war. We already know about this war from the side of David. Now we are seeing that from the side of Shaul. The Plishtim mustered and they marched to Shunem and encamped. And Shaul gathered on Israel and they encamped at Gilboa. So it's a camp against camp. Here, there is, it's in parentheses, the geography here is not very clear. It's quite strange, actually. You can see the map. So, where the Plishtim live usually? In this place, right? In near the sea, the city of Gaza is the city of Plishtim. Gat is around here. Gat, Ashkelon, Ashdod, all this plain, right? The plain of the shore. This is the place of the Plishtim. Am Israel is concentrated mainly here in the mountain. The tribe of Yehuda and Shimon is here. The tribe of Binyamin is here. The tribe of Ephraim and Menashe are here. And here are the tribes of the north. Okay, in this zone. So we have the Plishtim here and Am Israel here. Where would be the wars between them? Normally here, what we call Shfela, which is the low mountains, the low hills. We saw about that in the war against Goliath. It was in Emek Ayalon. Emek Haela, sorry, Emek Haela. So it's around here, near Bet Shemesh. And the war that was in the beginning between Yonatan and the Plishtim, when Yonatan made the war, it was here, north of Jerusalem, more in the part of Eretz Israel. Now it says that the war was here in the north. It says Shunam, it's apparently here. So this is what's called Emek Israel. You see the green, this is a topographic map. This is Emek Israel. So we have the mountain in the center, we have the plain here, and Emek Israel is the only place that connect this plain and the sea. So it was a very important route to how do you say, merchandise. All the commerce goes from here, from all the Middle East to the sea, right? So we have this place, but it's far away from the Plishtim. Why did they come here?
Because they infiltrate already. They start to win.
It doesn't say about any wars before that. Apparently, it's a smart. So some investigators say that what we call today Emek Israel and Shunam and Gilboa, it's actually here. It's not, doesn't sound very well. Yeah, well, I mean, well, we call today places, but we don't know what were the places in the time of the Bible. So there are some investigators that say that we're talking about Mishor HaChov, the plain of the shore. It doesn't make a lot of sense because we do have the names more or less known also today. So apparently, the most logical explanation that I saw that the Plishtim made a smart move of disconnecting Shaul from the tribe of the north. So this is the weak place when they can come, maybe secretly, and disconnect the powers of Shaul from the tribes of the north and the tribes of the other side of the Yarden that was here, the Menashe. Remember, Iftach came from this zone. Another point is that the big advantage of the Plishtim was the chariots, like the Knaanim, Rechev Barzel. And Rechev Barzel, the chariots are useless in the mountains. Where are they useful? In the valley, where it's a plain place, so they can go there. So they wanted to use this advantage, and they made some smart move of bringing the army here, and maybe they were planning to attack Am Israel from there. And so a Gilboa is so this is today it's the son of a Afula more or less. The Gilboa is the small mountains here, and Shaul is coming and making his camp here. So this is what we are talking about. They are in Shunam, and Shaul is here, and this is a camp against camp waiting for the war. So the Plishtim mastered, and they marched to Shunam and encamped. And Shaul gathered all Israel and they encamped at Gilboa. When Shaul saw the Plishtim force, so he was in the mountain, he looking down and sees the forces of the Plishtim, his heart trembled with fear. So he was afraid. The courageous and brave Shaul, like we said, he lost all his, he was focused so long time in trying to kill David that he forgot to take care of what's going on in the country. He's not focused, he's not concentrated, and Plishtim make him this smart move. So this, and he's found himself suddenly in a point of weakness in a very important war where he's not prepared to. He has his weaknesses. He's the underdog in this war, and so what he's doing, his natural move is ask Hashem.
So you have to bring it to me. Who was the client?
Yes, so let's see. And Shaul inquired of God, but God did not answer him either by dreams or by Urim or by prophets, which is like Yitzhak mentioned. What does it mean, Urim? The Urim are with David. No, we said that David asked in the Urim, and he killed all the Kohanim. So who was asking for him?
Maybe only the Choshen left. So he asked the Choshen without.
But it's not with David. So apparently, anyway, these three ways of asking Hashem are the legitimate ways. B'chalomot, there are some kind of dreams that are close to prophecy. So apparently there were people that were close to the level of prophecy and they could see dreams. If you were inquire or something like that, it didn't work. We know that we're going to start learning this Shabbat, Sefer HaKuzari. Sefer HaKuzari starts with the dream of the king, which was a real king. So Sefer Rabbi Yehuda Levi mentioned in his book later also about the Chalomot HaAmitiyim, the true dreams. So there is some kind of communication with Hashem through dreams. It didn't work. The Urim, apparently, there were several, according to what we see here. It's not necessarily, we should understand that we have the Choshen, the 12 stones, etc. The Choshen and the Urim Beturim are not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It was name of God inside, according to one explanation at least. It's not very clear. The truth is that it's not very clear what is the Urim. One doesn't explain how to do that, what material it was done from. Yeah, Rashi says.
Name of God, holy was double layer.
Yeah, so this is the explanation of Rashi, but the Torah doesn't say so, and there are other explanations. The Torah doesn't say what are the Urim Beturim, what materials that were done, how they were used. We only know that there were a way to communicate with Hashem. So it wasn't the portion itself. And so apparently he asked in this way also, he had some alternative, didn't work. And the best way usually to communicate with Hashem is ask the prophet, but Hashem didn't answer him as a prophet. Meaning that there were prophets. So we said that Shmuel had a lot of students, and some of them were prophets. Shaul himself has 2 episodes of being a prophet, גם שאול בנביאים. But it didn't work. It didn't work maybe specifically for Shaul, or maybe because Shmuel died, it didn't work for anyone. We saw again that also David wasn't answered, and we said that maybe it's connected to the fact that there is a division inside Am Israel. Maybe it's connected to that. Anyway, all the legitimate way to ask Hashem weren't answered. Now, what you do when Hashem doesn't answer you? What we do when Hashem doesn't answer us? We just try to deal, right? So it's unfortunately right now he's not speaking with us for a long time already. And so we are trying to manage, we are trying to understand what Hashem would expect me to do, what the Torah tells me, what the history tells me, and I try to find solution. Shaul was in a great need of answers. He was in a fear, and he said he felt he must have some kind of communication about what's going to happen, what he should do. He was in such a desperate point that what he himself, and of course the ironic here is very, very noticeable, he himself was fighting against the Baalei Ha'or, and now he himself looking for an answer from that. And that's what's going to happen in the next verse. Then Shaul said to his coteries, find me a woman who consults ghosts so that I can go to her and inquire through her. Why a woman? Why not a man? Apparently it was a work of women. So women more than usually the people that did that. And so he was looking. It's also maybe that he knew about some women that doing that, he just didn't know who is she. And Chachamim say, I don't remember, it's that she was the mother of Tzfania, which is strange, but that's what Chachamim said. Or the wife, I don't remember. Anyway, so ask me for a woman that doing that, and his coteries told him that there was a woman in Endor who consulted ghosts. So Endor is Endor. Right, there is a
Endor.
No Endor from the.
I think there is kibbutz in
no?
There's a what?
There's a. There are lots of parallels between this and Star Wars and Endor. So that's one of them.
Yeah.
Actually, perfectly timed.
So, Endor, if you look about, it's in the other side of the valley. So Shaul is here, the Plishtim are here, and the Endor is the other side of the valley. So he has to arrive to go through the night, to pass through the or behind or how do you say, go around the camp of the Plishtim and arrive to the other side, and that's what he did. Shaul disguised himself. He put on different clothes and set out with 2 men. They came to the woman by night, and he said, "Please divine for me by a ghost. Bring up for me the one I shall name to you." But the woman answered him, "You know that what Shaul has done. Now he has banned the use of ghosts and familiar spirits in the land. So why are you laying a trap for me to get me killed?" So she wasn't doing that anymore. And she said, I cannot help you because it's not allowed. The king will kill me. Shaul swore to her by God, which is strange. You are looking to do a sin. You're looking to do against God, and you are swearing in the name of God. Chachamim has a very interesting metaphor. It says like a woman going to the house of her lover and swearing in the name of her husband. Right? So this is a metaphor that Chachamim used. So what we understand from that is that Shaul, he was desperate. He was never left. He never left God. He never left his faith. He just was so desperate that he said, "I'm ready to pay the price of making a sin because I really need to know. I really need to understand what's going on." So we see that he didn't leave the faith. So Shaul swear to her by God, "As God lives, you won't get into trouble over this." Somehow it convinced the woman. She doesn't know it's Shaul for now. And some stranger come to her and swear in God. Now, if he trusts her, that she knows, that she really knows, why didn't was afraid that she's going to say to know who it is. Anyway, at that, the woman asked, "Whom shall I bring up for you?" He answered, "Bring up Shmuel for me." Then the woman recognized Shmuel, and she shrieked loudly and said to Shaul, "Why have you deceived me? You are Shaul." How, from seeing Shmuel, she recognized that this is Shaul?
Maybe Shmuel did something.
For now, he didn't say, just went up.
The way that he reacts when he came.
Okay, we will leave that and we answer that soon. The king answered her, "Don't be afraid. What do you see?" So only she saw. Only she saw. Yeah, she was afraid he's going to kill her, but she said, "Don't worry, I'm not going to kill you. What did you see?" So apparently only she saw and he didn't. So the king answered her, "Don't be afraid. What do you see?" And the woman said to Shaul, "I see a divine being coming up from the earth. Elohim raiti olim min haaretz." What does it look like, this God? So we said several times, the word Elohim is not necessarily God. It can be powerful, it can be judge, it can be some kind of angel. So she saw something going up, and he asked, "What does it look like?" He asked her, "It is an old man coming up," she said, "and he is wrapped in a robe, Then Shaul knew that it was Shmuel. Why? Shmuel was the only one wearing coat in the land of Israel in the middle of the summer. No, because the coat was a sign of Shaul. Remember, we said from the beginning of the book that his mother brought him a coat every year to the Beit HaMikdash. And when he told Shmuel that you are not going to be the king anymore, so Shaul, so Shaul touched coat his coat, and it was teared. So apparently, from this description, he understood that it worked, and Shmuel came. So, and he bowed low in homage with his face to the ground. Okay, we return. I just want to see a little bit more. Shmuel said to Shaul, so it looks to here that Shmuel really spoke directly to Shaul. Shmuel said to Shaul, "Why have you disturbed me and brought me up?" And Shaul answered, "I am greatly troubled. The Plishtim are attacking me, and God has turned away from me, and no longer answers me, either by prophets or in dreams." What is missing here? Prophet, dreams, and Urim. Why didn't mention Urim? Rashi said he was ashamed because he killed all the Kohanim. He didn't want to mention that. So I have called you to tell me what I am to do. Okay, we will return to that after that, to this conversation. I just want to mention now, there's a big machloket about what's really happening here. Radak brings different opinions about that. So there is Shmuel ben Chofni, I think his name was, one of the time of the Geonim, that said this was all just, how do you say, pretending, fraud. There wasn't Shmuel there. There wasn't any kind of ghost. Ghosts don't really work. There's no such things. So why is the Torah prohibited? I would say that Rambam says something similar. Rambam says all these kind of things. It's not true. It's just they are cheating people. It's a lie. It's not really working. You cannot ask the dead. There's no demons. There's no spirits. There's no ghosts.
But
no.
there is today.
What? I'm telling you what Rambam say. You can discussion with Rambam. I tell you. So Rambam said not such things, no Harry Potter, no Lord of the Rings, nothing. All this thing, it's not real. It's not true. It's never happened. Never happened. So why the Torah tells you that you're not allowed to do that if it's not working? Because the Torah wants to distance you from nonsense. The Torah wants to educate us to think in a rational way, in a way that educated people think, and don't trust all these things. So even though it doesn't work, doesn't really matter. The Torah says it's not allowed to do all that. You should educate yourself. You should elevate yourself above this nonsense, and all these things don't work. That is the opinion of Rambam, and this is also the opinion of this rabbi that I said that was brought by Radak here. He said all this story, it was all planned. She recognized Shaul from the beginning. She knew it was Shaul. She, as always, had a man behind something, some curtain or some fence, and he's playing the characters that he wants, right? So he's making some kind of a fraud, and all this story. So she knew what Shmuel would have said, and it all was a game. This is the opinion of Shmuel ben Chofni, I think was the name. The other opinion, it's Rav Gaon, another Gaon, I don't remember who said, yeah, usually it's true. Usually it doesn't work. But only in this case, Hashem wanted to send Shmuel. So this is the only time in history when it really worked. Because it's really hard to say that when the Bible say, Vayomer Shmuel el Shaul, and Shmuel say to Shaul that it wasn't Shmuel. It says Shmuel spoke, right? So why did they say? So they say, yeah, usually our general approach is that all these things don't work and it's nonsense. But in this case was the only case in history when it really worked. And there is a third opinion that these things really happen. This is, for example, the opinion of Ramban. He doesn't agree with the Rambam, generally speaking, not about this case. Generally, he said there are some kind of black powers in reality. There are some kind of black powers. He explained why it works like that and how it works. The Torah says, yeah, it's real, it works, but I'm not allowing you to use this power. So there are powers that you're not allowed to use. And this is also one of the cases when he says it was a real way. So she could actually call Shaul from the dead and speak with call Shmuel from the dead and speak with him directly. So there are these three opinions. You can choose whatever you want to understand this story. About the question, so how did she know that it was Shmuel? So according to the first opinion, it's quite clear it wasn't Shmuel. It was a friend that was hiding there. But according to the two other explanations, Chachamim explains that usually when you call someone from the dead, don't try it at home, but if you call someone from the dead, he's going first legs up. And after that, so it's like the opposite. And Shmuel was writing in the right way, standing. ראיתי אלוהים ראיתי עולים מן הארץ. I saw God עולים מן הארץ, so divine thing עולים, and that's the reason she understood. So why? Why it came like that? Because out of respect for the king. The king is there. So that's how she understands the one who is standing here is the king. Only in front of kings, the dead will rise in this way. This is what Chachamim say. And according to the second explanation, it says that the fact that it really worked, meaning usually it never worked for her. It was always fraud. It was always cheating people. And suddenly it's working. So she understood something here is different. And then she understood that it was really Shaul that was asking for that, and that's how she knew that it was Shaul, that it was Shmuel. I mean, that it was Shaul that was asking her. And Shaul also understood from the description that we are talking about Shmuel, that it really worked, and then he starts speaking with him. Okay, I think we will stop here. And B'ezrat Hashem, after Pesach, we will see the conversation between Shmuel and Shaul.
And the last war.
And some other important message from the rest of the chapter.
That's it.
Okay, thank you.